They slid the cup over and asked for a remake. They said they only stepped out for a minute. The issue was their table was packed with a laptop and books, but the seat had been empty for over 2 hours. As the waiting line grew, it got awkward fast. We even had a seat break notice, but everyone hesitated. So I didn't argue. I checked the record. The entrance timeline was just a long, blank stretch. I calmly gave 2 options: reorder without a refund or pay a re-entry pass to keep the seat. In the end, they paid and sat back down without a word. And I learned to announce seat break rules first every time. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. It was a late shift and this guy walks in and starts talking down to me like we're friends. I didn't even think. I answered in the same casual tone back. Then he flicks the cup at me and goes, "Add more ice, free of charge, hurry up." I glance at the small refund policy sheet taped by the register. The owner steps out from the back, catches my tone, then looks at his face. He reaches into the drawer and pulls out a thin binder like it's routine. The customer raises his voice, waves his phone, says he'll write a bad review right now. The owner just checks the CCTV log and matches it with the receipt. He shows the customer manual, clause 43, and says disrespectful speech equals refusal of service. No drama, the guy leaves, and I learned to hold the rule before I hold my temper. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. It was the lunch rush when a customer came up holding the bowl, saying there was a hair in it. They looked so confident I hesitated for a second. But their first line was not an apology request, it was a full refund demand. I just followed policy and asked for the receipt first. They kept talking loud, but weirdly they kept pulling the bowl closer to themselves. And they would not put the chopsticks down, so I moved straight into the verification steps, exactly like the manual says. For food complaints, the kitchen camera check is one of the first items. I hit play, and the footage showed them pulling a hair from their own head and dropping it into the bowl. We watched that short clip together, in silence. I kept it neutral and said the refund was not possible under policy, but a remake was available. After that, I learned this: for complaints, save the receipt and document everything. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. I was working at a delivery restaurant and the order note was intense. It said 1 star if we rang the bell, so do not ring it. The rider checked it too, and we finished packing fast. We sent it out while it was hot and double-checked that note. But about an hour later, a support message popped up. They said we did not ring, the food got cold, and they wanted a full refund. My boss did not argue, just pulled the records like the manual says. The note screenshot, dispatch time, and the rider arrival photo. The key was the contradiction in their own note. They warned us not to ring, then blamed us for not ringing when it was convenient. In the end, the refund was denied and they only got a formal reply. 1 tip: screenshot those special requests and save them per order. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. Late shift at a convenience store, this grown guy asked if we had that sticker bread. I said it was sold out, and his face just dropped like I'd lied to him. He wouldn't step away from the counter, insisting I check the stockroom one more time. Even with the delivery sheet, he kept saying I was hiding it somewhere. His voice got louder, so I stuck to the script and kept my tone flat. I said I'd call the manager and that we can refuse service if a customer causes a disturbance. He bumped the display and a few snacks hit the floor. Not a big mess, but enough. I logged the damage and printed a void receipt right then, just to lock in the timeline. When the manager arrived, we went straight to the CAD monitor together. Channel 43 had the whole thing, from the first demand to the shelf shove, clearly. Once the police showed up, he switched to "it was a misunderstanding" and went quiet. It ended with him writing a statement at the station, and I learned, keep the log, keep the paper. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. At 3:12 p.m. a customer said their kid would eat it and asked for 2 extra cups of sauce. If we break portion rules, inventory and cash out get messy, so I checked the guide first. So I pulled out the laminated portion card, 4-1, from under the counter and scanned it. It clearly said sauce is 30g per scoop and each extra portion is 501. They kept pushing for a free extra, so I tapped the pause options right in front of them. The screen only had an Add Sauce 501 button with no free giveaway option, so I stuck to that. When that still didn't work, I reprinted the order receipt, No 17, and pointed to the bottom. It literally printed portion violation may lead to criminal punishment, and their tone changed fast. To wrap it up, I checked the promo notice for Jan 19 and there was no free add-on event. So I calmly said once, if you want more, it's 501 as an add-on, and that's it. The issue was them trying to force an exception, so I relied on the 30G guide and the receipt warning to charge properly. Tip: keep a fixed portion warning line on receipts, so the conversation ends before it turns into a debate. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. At 11:40 p.m. a drunk customer slapped our part-timer and started yelling. To avoid getting blamed, I saved a 5-minute CCTV clip and the overlay showed 23:40:12 any twice, so I scanned the manual care under the counter and checked the response steps first. Clause 42 said, stop service and call 112 immediately if there is an assault. He insisted he was the victim and demanded a refund, so I printed the pose history. The receipt showed card approval at 23:12 and a cancel attempt failed at 23:3:20. We called 112 and wrote a shift incident log while waiting, keeping it simple and factual. A text alert said dispatch completed at 23:48 and 2 staff signatures were on the log. Next day, I got a medical note and wrote a settlement breakdown in my phone memo. With a 20,001 receipt attached, I texted 43,000 and he kneeled to beg outside. Cause was alcohol plus bullying, and we closed it using the saved key and the 112 dispatch record. We finished with 2 copies of a settlement form. Tip: save the CCTV clip within 1 minute. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. Today is about a family who missed a No Kids Cafe notice, then got billed 430,001 after wall scribbles. So if you do not check signs and rules first, the loss hits fast. Around 2:12 p.m. a family walked in, so I immediately pointed at the entrance stand notice. The first bullet clearly said it was a no kid zone. But while the parents focused on ordering, the kid was scribbling near the wall. So I checked the CCTV monitor once, and the timestamp showed the moment at 14:18. The parents said a wet wipe would fix it. So I opened our manual folder and found the contamination rule. It stated that marker on walls requires professional restoration, and the cost is charged at actual expense. So I showed the estimate capture and processed the 400,001 restoration fee with a receipt. The cause was skipping the rules and not supervising, and the tip is to read 1 line at the entrance before you enter. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. They walked in at 23:59 and demanded 10 burgers right now. So I checked first because closing time orders can turn into refunds and disputes fast. First, I tapped the pose inventory screen to double check. It showed only 3 patties left, meaning we could only cook 3 burgers max. So I posted a sold out notice at Zurieville on the door. The moment it went up, they shoved a screenshot and claimed they were from HEQ to pressure me. So I stayed calm and checked the date and sender info on that screen. It started with a personal mobile number, and the 8-digit ticket field was blank, which was a red flag. In the end, I followed the manual line that says when stock is out, only partial fulfillment is allowed, so I offered 3. The cause was clear, inventory showed 3, and the Hue screenshot had holes, and the tip is to verify a ticket number or official channel first. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. At 19:40, a customer threatened a review bomb, so I showed a ready-made complaint draft. A few bad ratings can hurt sales fast, so I checked the payment record before arguing. They demanded a full refund plus a free replacement, claiming it was $18,901 worth of trouble. I asked for the receipt stamped 1912 and opened our manual line. Refund requires receipt. So I tapped the pose history and the cancellation tab right in front of them. It showed cancellation completed 19th of 5 with $18,901, so their story didn't match. Then they waved a phone note saying, I will review bomb this place to pressure me. I wrote an incident memo at 1944, copied the exact words, and marked the CCTV camera number. I pulled a folder named Interference Complaint Draft 0126 from the drawer and set it on the counter. The attachment list said, Threat Screenshot CCTV 1944, and they went quiet and walked out. Cause was simple. They tried to get extra compensation by threatening reviews, and I closed it with 3 proofs. Tip: keep 1 policy line, a post screenshot shortcut, and an incident memo template ready at the register. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. At 12:40 during lunch rush, a customer tried to seat their dog on a dining chair. One hygiene complaint can hit the shop fast, so I started by checking the rules first. So I pointed at the entrance notice, 3 short lines we keep laminated for this exact moment. It said pets may use pet-only chairs, and regular customer chairs are not allowed. They pushed back saying other places allow it, so I opened our staff tablet manual right away. The cover showed 2026 People 1 Del 2, and it clearly listed no kitchen access and leash control. They still argued, so I checked the posted registration sheet next to the pose just to be safe. It listed our pet entry setup and noted 2 fixed leash hooks and a designated pet seat area. Finally, I showed the penalty notice on the wall mentioning Animal Protection Rule 43. I explained a report can trigger an inspection, and they moved the dog into a carrier right away. The issue was them demanding an exception, and we solved it by sticking to the posted notice and manual. Tip: keep a laminated 3-line policy by the pose and repeat the same script instead of debating. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. At 9:40 p.m., right before closing, a customer demanded a refund on leftover fried chicken. If you just accept it, the shop loses money, so I started by checking the receipt. The order detail showed a 7:12 p.m. payment, and the listed portion weight was 150 g. Our handbook line says refunds require at least 70% remaining, so the rule was clear. So I put the box on the counter scale, and it read 85 g, which felt way too light. After subtracting the empty box weight of 140 g, only 45 g was left, just 43% of the portion. To be safe, I checked the sticker number on the box in case it was swapped. The label code, 377, matched the receipt code, so the evidence lined up perfectly. So at 9:46 p.m. I showed the scale photo and explained, calmly, that a refund was not allowed. I still logged the complaint for feedback and noted remaining 43% in the support record. The cause was a refund claim after most was eaten, and the fix was sticking to weight data in the policy. Tip: snap one photo of the scale and keep the receipt together, and arguments drop fast. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. At 7:42 p.m. our customer tossed a card, and the part-timer set it back on the floor. Without CCTV, complaints can rewrite the story. The card bounced off the tray and hit the floor, so I wrote 1942 card toss in notes and screenshot it. That timestamp becomes your shield later. The terminal froze on, pending Melio 15, which matched the moment the card dropped. I checked the pose log for one canceled attempt and saved that screen. 30 minutes later, a complaint call came in, and the boss pulled me aside. We jumped to CCTV at 1942 and watched just a 10-second clip. On video, the customer tossed it first, and I only said, please place it on the tray. The boss handed me a 30,001 envelope and told me to log it. Cause was simple, disrespect crossed the line, and the fix was proof before emotions. Tip: within 1 minute, capture 3 things: time, screen text, and the log. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. This is about a customer who splashed water at the door because a rainy delivery was late. If you ignore it, the damage can get pinned on you. He arrived at 1918, and the moment the door opened, water splashed out. First move was a screenshot of delivered 1919 on the order screen. Verification took 2 steps: the doorbell timestamp and the porch video. The log showed ring 1918, and the clip clearly captured the splash action. Then he checked the chat, and the customer sent a threat-like line twice. He saved the screenshots and named the clip 2062 0219-2018 for clarity. The cause was someone using delay stress as an excuse to cross a safety line, and the fix was reporting with 3 pieces of proof. Tip: if anything splashes, screenshot within 10 seconds first. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe. A customer parked in a no parking spot, and it can block the whole business. Check the sign line that says immediate towing first. At 1912, a car sat right on the yellow line by the entrance. I turned on the C80 timestamp overlay and took a screenshot with the plate visible. I made 2 in-store announcements and started a 5-minute timer. No one claimed it, even after I showed the no parking photo as proof. At 1924, the towing request log said received 8 to 10 minutes. I captured that screen and reset the outside notice. At 1932, the door chime pinged and the customer dashed out mid-meal. The receipt still showed order 3 items in progress, so the timeline matched. cause was ignoring the no parking marker, and we moved forward using screenshots and the request log. Tip: capture the sign text and the plate in one frame. That's all for today's story. We'll be back every day with a new one. If you want to catch tomorrow's story too, please like and subscribe.